just Saturdays as an analyst.
Yeah, he's really good an analyst.
His mind, him, Pat McAfee, those guys, when it comes to their mind and understanding of the game, the IQ, they know how to articulate it very well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that shows why they were so impactful on the team when they played for the Colts.
For sure. I mean, there's a reason why the Colts have always been a good organization, because they get really good guys. And obviously, they've been a little up and down, last couple of years. But, overall, I think that, the Colts are definitely one of the best organizations just from the guys that they, draft and get and, just their overall consistency.
Okay. Now, since we literally kicked off Summer League 24 hours ago, officially. Yep. Take us there. Give us the breakdown from the moment you touch down at the Vegas airport, which Vegas is nice, by the way. I love it. Vegas is beautiful.
Yeah, I love Vegas.
Break down, because you've traveled all over. I know you've been overseas with with Evan and everything. So I know you traveling is probably nothing new to you per se. But as a player for the Houston Rockets Summer League team, I want your experience, your day one experience. Tell us what it's like. Break it down for us. Just take us there.
Well, I'll be honest. This is definitely a much weirder experience, especially coming from a mid-major college. Obviously, I did play high major as well, but it's even different than that. I mean, when you have a NBA logo and you're walking around, it does feel a little different. But
as it should.
Yeah, and overall, I think that it kind of gives you a responsibility, because it's not only you're not just a basketball player anymore. You are a public figure. This is a job, and just. From this training and, going into airport, for example, we got into the airport 2 days ago and we kind of just chilled out, relaxed. It's definitely a very much different vibe than college. I mean, we didn't necessarily have to go over a whole bunch of plays and scouting reports and all that. We kind of just, went with the flow and just just relaxed into it. And, that's how the NBA is. I've heard a lot of other people, I've been, talking with other people who have been in my situation, and the NBA is very much like that. You kind of have to know, if you don't, for me, if I don't know who Paolo Banchero is, I mean, the game's already over. So
right.
Yeah. I didn't really need to do a scouting report on Devin Kennedy and RJ Hampton yesterday, because, I watch basketball. I appreciate, what those guys have done. So it's very different. It's a very different atmosphere. You don't have to go through as much because you naturally just watch it. So that's a big difference. And, getting ready, it's pretty, regular. You kind of just go through a shoot around before, and you get a good meal in before you take a nap and you go and play.
The reason why I wanted you to just kind of give us that breakdown is because you got to understand, you as coming in from a mid-major like Valpo and being able to play for the Houston Rockets Summer League team, this is an inspirational story. This is for the kids coming behind you. This is. You want to know
what's so interesting? I don't think so anymore.
No.
I've seen a lot, and this is me, and I would like my story. I would like my story to be a little bit more special, but I'll be honest with you. I played against. Over the last 2 years at Valpo, I played against kids that are here in the Summer League now. Right. Like Rollins and I know you went to that game, Rollins from Toledo. I mean, he's out here and he's a starter on the Summer League team. It's just, I think mid-major basketball is changing. Javon Liberty Freeman, he just got signed with the Bulls. I mean, that's something I played with at Valpo.
But that's good. So, that's another flip side to it. If it is evolving, as from what you see, you're like, hey, definitely I played these guys. There's nothing new here. I know his game. I've guarded this guy before.
Yeah, so, and I think the specialty of it, it's kind of dwindled. I think the crazy story. I mean, even if you look at the Miami Heat. I mean, you got guys like Max Strus that played D2. You got a lot of kids like
Duncan Robinson is another one, right? He counts that too.
Yeah, I mean, I know he had a solid year at Michigan, but he didn't do great at Michigan. I know he played there, but I mean, I think everyone's story is different. You get a lot of really good players everywhere. And that's one thing I've realized when I played mid-major. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I literally see in Summer League that I play with against. I mean, Cho from our team, he went to Brown University. I mean, there's just, it's everywhere. It's everywhere,
Okay. So, well, since we get to where we started, is in regards to last night's game, did the pace of play, is there any difference in that being that you play these guys, but it is with the NBA logo on the court now. Is it play any different, or was there anything new about it that was like, okay, I didn't expect that? Any surprises?
Well, the NBA is different. I don't think it's necessarily the pace of play, but the way how the movement. Obviously, guys are bigger in general, but it's not necessarily that. I mean, the NBA is just a different game. The shot clock is faster. And yeah, like I guess you do have more possessions, which, would technically mean the pace faster, but it doesn't mean that guys are moving faster and guys are so much stronger. I just think that the game, how people view the game is much different. I mean, you take a lot more threes in the NBA than you do in college. You don't run as many plays. That's just how it is. And it's just like, it's different. Sure. Yeah, it's definitely changed. So I would say it's more that than anything else. I mean, because in college, I mean, a 30-second to 24-second shot clock is a big deal. I mean, I try to tell people, you play with a 24-second shot clock at your local gym, and you see why guys are taking a lot of threes and why guys are, they play the way that they do. I mean, it's very hard.
Yeah, you brought up a valid point, man. Me personally, I like the mid-range. I feel like it's criminally underrated. And with that being said, between the combination of, like you said, a faster 24-second shot clock and the evolution of the game being more perimeter-based, less playmaking, more so we got players that are willing to jack up three from the logo on. I think it takes away a dimension out of the game.
It definitely does. But a lot of it's because of point per possession. And this is a big thing that they use in the NBA. So, for example, if you're a guy that takes 10 threes versus a guy that takes 10 twos, for you to beat out that person, you would have to only make, 4 threes versus someone having to make 5 twos. So over the course of time, what happens is throughout the course of a season, if you take 100 threes versus 100 twos, by the time you make 33, you would have just as many points as if you made 50 twos. Or 34. You have to make 34 to have more points than it would if you took 52s and made 52s out of 100. So if you made 52 points out of 100, you would score 100 points. If you made 34 threes out of 100, you would score 102. So 34 threes would beat out 52s. That's the reason why the game has changed so much.
So basically, I think you just broke down for the audience. That's what makes analytics say, I want you to shoot more threes than 2.
Oh, of course.
Off of that points per possession.
Well, of course. And that's the reason why mid-range shots, because people aren't shooting 70% from mid-range. People are shooting 44%, even though it's a good shot. I think mid-range shots are good shots, but the percentages are not as high as layups. Layups are a higher percentage than mid-range. So if they're like, if you're going to shoot it 2, it needs to be a layup.
That's coach's order, basically.
Yeah, that's most teams' coaches' orders. At the end of the day, if you look at analytics, it just points to that. Back in the day, 2-pointers used to be a very efficient shot because people didn't really run you off the line. So now you have a lot of people running you off the line, and now instead of shooting 50% from mid range, a lot of people are now shooting about 44 because now they're rushed, and now you have people running you off the line.
And this is why
a lot of analytics.
But that's why I say when you decide to find your way back full circle in the NBA circles, basketball talk, you got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one thing. I've always wanted to do different things, whether it be coaching, sports, and analysts. X's and O's. It's all X's and O's, and I think people definitely do need to start, being aware of that on why teams do, the things that they do.
Oh man, I hope I didn't lose my train of thought. I actually had a question. Oh, so real quick, I do need you to I know you're being a Houston Rocket right now. Put your reporter hat on for me. I do got a question for you because your brother's name is in a lot of my reports that I'm looking up right now.
For sure.
And I know he's talking. So I'm hearing rumblings that the Lakers are looking at your brother.
Like I said, it's all up to management. I said, this is something I really can't comment too much about.
I knew you was going to say that. I was waiting on it.
But at the end of the day, I understand that it is a business and it's tough on both sides. Because Eric loves Houston and Houston loves Eric, So, right now my brother's a Houston Rocket and he practiced today and he looked really well. That's the best, to me, that's the best part about Summer League. Obviously the games are fun and being around that, but of course, being, around the head coach and being around the veteran players, there's nothing like it. I mean, like walking in and seeing, a guy who's, done so much in the NBA, it's really cool.
I will say, just since we can't like really go into deeper than that, right? Mm-hmm. I will say, for the sake of the roster you have right now with your brother, Jalen Green, mm-hmm. They got a lot of young, hungry talent, all your summer league rosters well included.
Yeah, I mean, that's the craziest part about the summer league roster that I'm really playing with, like the actual Houston Rockets minus Jalen Green and minus Alp and minus like a Tate and Garrison. I'm really feeling like I'm playing with the Rockets team. Excluding like my brothers, a couple other vets. Yeah, outside of 5 players, I'm playing with pretty much the Houston Rockets.
Your timing is impeccable. Your timing is impeccable because Houston's in a rebuild, so they went younger.
Yeah.
You see, they moved John Wall to the Clippers. So when they did that, I already knew. I'm like, okay, EJ is in a position where you played 15 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
You pretty much can make that decision. You're at a point in your career where you can pretty much navigate however you want to play it. Mm-hmm. But as it stands, with John Wall being in LA now with the Clippers, your brother is the veteran of the team.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
that's a damn good bet to have on your team.
He's still shooting. He loves Houston. He loves the young guys. I mean, he talks to me all the time about how much he likes being around the team, how much he likes being around the coaches and management. I mean, he only says great things. So he's pretty content with being here.